Alright, what's up y'all, it's LakerFan here. As I was about to title today's video, we're here to talk about the top 5 most usable replica builds in NBA 2K24, or in other words, the NBA player templates. So, for those who don't know how these are going to work in this year's game, if you choose the exact player template that is being shown and don't modify any of their ratings, you get to keep all of their animations. Now, I'm pretty positive they will let you, revamp them, take certain things off that you don't want, stuff like that. We don't know that right now, but I'm positive that they would have to let you do that, or else these might actually just be purely trash. But anyway, besides that though, I want to talk about the 5 best ones in this year's game, and not to mention talk about really the top 2 being ridiculously good. Some of the best builds I've even seen on the game yet so far, bro. It's insane. So as you can see, we're kind of just letting these cycle through real quick so you can see all of them before we get into this. Shout out to 2K Labs for the footage right here. I'm actually going to be doing a collab video on their channel with Koza, and I'm going to be going over all these and putting these in tiers of like S tier, A tier, B tier, stuff like that. But in today's video, I just wanted to detail my top 5 favorites and just keep it as simple as that. So as you can see, I will give you guys a fair warning ahead of time. I don't like any of the lock builds. I'm not a big fan of any of these types of builds that are trying to shoot for that Prim D, and we'll actually get into why I feel that way with the very first one, with my #1 catfish build. The one that you would think is actually going to be good, but doesn't have a couple of really important ratings that you need for types of defensive badges. And ironically, in true 2K24 fashion, it's because he doesn't have strength. So just keep that in mind. Anyway, we got other builds like Jaren. He was pretty solid. It was one I was considering maybe putting in here. Lauri Markkanen was also another sleeper that I was potentially going to put in. Really good offense. Mobley, good mobile, like back-end defender. Siakam, not very good, to be honest with you. Now, we'll talk about Towns in just a second, because I promise you he's in this video. And then, obviously, it cycles back to being the power forwards. Centers, you got DeAndre Ayton, AD. I was hoping AD could be kind of freaky, but he's not looking that great in my opinion. You got people like Andre Drummond, who are actually like a pretty solid, like inside big option. It's actually like one of the only inside big options, to be honest with you. So you got him, you got this Jokic build right here. Jokic is looking pretty solid too, but I didn't end up putting him on the list. Sabonis, way too slow, 50 speed, 7-1. I mean, I didn't like this one at all. Not to mention the defense is just like not looking great either. Miles Turner, really solid, but once again pretty slow. 6'11", being 52 speed, not it. But rating wise, it looks very good with like the 3-pointer, close shot, finishing, defensive, like interior defending as well, plus solid defensive rebound as well. But yeah, physicals just so bad for the Miles Turner, considering the height as well. So anyway, now we are back to the beginning of this list. And again, shout out to 2K Labs for the footage right here, because obviously that means either Spill or Matt was going through and actually looking at all this stuff on their own time, even though, again, it only took 2 minutes, 20 seconds. But let's start with the catfish build. Let's go to Drew Holiday. So you may be looking at this and you're like, wow, this is a 95 prim point guard that has 85 ball handle, 75 speed with ball. That's perfect caps to hit as far as the ball handle and speed with ball. We'll talk about that in a later part of the video, because Anthony Edwards has very similar stuff that I'm going to be putting him in this list as well, with the 85 ball handle and 75 speed with ball. But no dunk, like it's 60 dunk. That's not great, obviously. It's okay in most situations. You'd be like, well, it's like a two-way kind of 3-and-D point guard, right? Problem is, you got 95 prim, which would get you gold clamps and all that stuff, but you got 45 strength. And believe it or not, you come over to the strength-related badges, physical handles. He has the ball handle to even get on Hall of Fame, but it's got no strength. It can't get physical handles. You come up to, let's say, even, clamps and stuff like that as well. You're still in for another really disappointing moment, because as you can see, you need 45 strength to even get bronze, bro. He has 45. You get bronze clamps on a Drew Holiday build. That's tough. It's definitely the biggest catfish build in the entire builder as far as the NBA templates. I'm not a fan of this. It's so unfortunate that he is just strength short of having gold clamps, because I feel like it could be justified making a build like this if he had a good enough strength, which actually would only require him to have 10 more to even get this. So if you want to tweak this and you don't want to use the exact replica and you only want to modify this in terms of just putting 10 more strength on this, I'm a big fan of that. I want to let you guys know 95 prim is a little bit useless. You should just trim that down to 94, get the Hoff Challenger even still, and then you could probably get just enough points back out of that anyway to get the 55 strength. So I am doing these replicas as strictly talking about keeping the build as is, because obviously, like I said, that allows you to keep all their animations, etc., etc. Plus, I'm guessing other things that are related to it as well. So if you want to modify this Drew Holiday build, it's the biggest boomer bust 10 ratings of anything I'm going to be showing here, because boy is that nasty. Not to mention, he has the stamina, as you can see, 99, and the Prim D, if you keep it at like 94, is to have 94 feet on Hall of Fame as well. So he definitely has some valid like aspects to him for sure. But as far as keeping it the exact same, not a big fan. So what we're gonna do instead in today's video, because I actually like to, you know, kind of get to the things that keeps you guys' attention early in the video, then get to maybe like the number 4, number 5 later in the video. We're gonna start at number 1 and go down to number 5. So number 1, we have Towns. Man, is this insane, bro. So like, look at this build. This is the best build I've seen on this game yet so far, to be honest with you guys. So yes, the pass hack is not very good. You could debatably say this is not going to be a very good rec build. I suppose that's fair. I think for Park, though, this is one of the best center builds I've seen so far. You're going to have Silver Rebound Chaser. You're going to have enough strength and rebound to get Silver Box Out Beast as well. Decent interior defense at 75. And I understand the block, you know, stuff like that is definitely terrible. Same with the steal is 45. But come back to this real quick. And honestly, you'd only know the importance of stuff like this if you had looked at the other replica builds. But like, for reference, again, Miles Turner had like 50-something speed at 6'11". Towns is 7 foot with 67 speed, has decent excel as well. He'll definitely have some big driver badge on a really decent level considering he's got 67 ball handle, 58 speed with ball. Okay pass hack, again, it's nothing great, but again, even still, 57 excel. He's got 86 strength. That'll give you the Silver Bulldozer, Silver Immovable Enforcer, and Silver Brick Wall. Not to mention, let's talk about the main thing that actually makes him really good. 75 vert plus 90 standing dunk. He'll get all of the elite and regular big man contact dunks. He still has regular dunk packages that'll probably be definitely decent considering 75 will, like I said, probably get you a lot of ones that you would be shooting for as far as your packages go. He has 80 driving layups, so depending on how they're height capped, obviously that also plays a pretty big factor. But either way, just a solid rating to be had. 86 post control, also very good, and then 94 close shot, pairing that with also the 90 mid-range and 80 3-pointer. So he's a good popper. It's a good outside stretch option. He's still got a lot of put the ball on the floor aspects to him. Still a post scorer. You combine that with a big driver on face-ups and stuff like that too. Speed boosting into the paint on a big build like this. I think it's a absolutely like spectacular build and one of the best ones I've seen on the game so far. And it's ironic because it fits a lot of certain like rating thresholds and stuff like that, yet it's a replica build that doesn't even need much modification if you ask me at all, really. All right, so next up we have Marcus Smart coming in at the number 2 spot. So Smart is actually in the same breath as Drew Holiday, where as you can see he has that 95 Prim D, but only has the 95 stamina, so you won't get like Hall of Fame, you know, 94 feet or anything like that. But the nice thing is he actually comes with 75 strength. Now check this out. He comes with 76 ball handle, 75 speed with ball, 77 pass hack. Not to mention, we'll talk about the 3-pointer in a little bit. I know the driving dunk is very bad. I will acknowledge that, but it will still give you dunk packages for that matter, and it's going to be relying a little bit more on driving layup. Not to mention, you are 6'4", so you're going to get like small guard jump shots, you know, like all the KPJ type stuff from last year. Who knows, they'd probably up the requirement for that as well, to be honest, but it's definitely something to be considered. So like the difference between being a 6'4" and a 6'5" is very big as far as like the jump shot discrepancy. But again, to come back to these badges real quick, mind you, once again, 75 strength, 76 ball handle, 75 speed with ball. Keep all those in mind, not to mention he has like 80 speed and 83 excel. You won't be able to remember all that, but I just want you guys to remember a lot of it. So again, he'll be able to get 94 feet on gold with the 95 stamina. As far as the perimeter D, as you guys know, we just talked about the 94 feet, but also the fact that you can get like ankle braces on Hoff. You'll get Hoff Challenger, gold clamps, because he has the strength to go with it. So, and then like not to mention fast feet. Also, as you can see, the acceleration, 83, so he absolutely achieves the ability to get gold fast feet. He wouldn't quite get Hoff fast feet, but that's not a big deal. Honestly, I think that badge is going to be really good, but Hoff might even be overkill, to be honest. People might just be going the wrong way quicker, to be real with you. But anyway, moving along to the playmaking stuff real quick, you're going to see this is a really big deal with the part of this build right here. All right, so the ratings we're looking at right here, 76 ball handle, mind you, that's exactly what he had. If you come back here, 76 ball handle. You got 72 speed with ball. He's got that easy, and then also has the speed to match with it as well for the bronze speed booster. Now, you might sleep on that a little bit, but being a lock build, this might actually be very convenient to have. Not to mention, he has enough ball handle for the bronze unpluckable as well, so you're looking at 2 very important bronze playmaking badges right there. And here's where it's a real big kicker. So he has enough ball handle for gold physical handles with the ball handle and the strength. 73 and 73. He has 76 and 75. So he gets gold physical handles as well. That's another big deal in my opinion. Gets bronze killer combos. He has just enough speed with ball and speed. Check this out. 75 speed with ball, 80 speed. It's exactly what you need for silver hyperdrive as well. It's actually debatably even the best build on here, but I couldn't really put a 6'4 build as the best build on here. I just feel like with Towns and his, like, you know, physical freak sort of deal where he's like really good speed and vert and like and strength and all that with being 7 foot, and he's like a do-it-all kind of as well, was very nice. But anyway, you get bronze handles for days as well. Obviously stamina matches. With the blow by, it's still gonna be bronze as well with this, so you can achieve all of these playmaking badges on bronze. Obviously you don't get big driver, you know, ankle breaker, sure you get on silver, not a big deal, but also perfect pass act for things like, let's say, touch passer on bronze. You get like the relay passer also on silver because he has 77 pass act and you need 76 for that. So he's right where you need to be with a lot of things. Bronze needle threader as well, boom, right there, he gets it. Silver dimer also, so that's all those things included. But yeah, the big kicker to me right here is the whole like gold physical handles thing. I think that's gonna be really nice to have on him. Not to mention, I mean, the three-pointer is still doable. 82 three-pointer looks very good. So we won't spend too much time talking about that. It's not really too specific, but let me actually just, you know, get specific for a second here. It's enough on the dot for gold claymore. You also will get the corner specialist on silver as well. You get bronze agent 3, you know, etc., all that stuff. You don't get limitless, but that's obviously pretty like notably obvious, I guess. You get silver blinders, you get silver catch and shoot as well. I mean, it's still gonna be enough for also bronze deadeye and then silver green machine. So a lot of silver shooting badges, some golds, some bronzes, but for the most part a lot of silvers. But yeah, I mean, either way, I'm still a big fan of this build 100%. And ironically, it actually has enough strength, unlike other builds, to actually get some fearless finisher. So with the strength requirement right here, whether it's Ant or, you know, it's like anybody else that we've shown, or even Drew Holiday, he didn't have enough strength for any of this stuff. And ironically, this is actually the biggest kicker of his build too, where it's like it stands out significantly from others. So check this out. You might think like when you saw that close shot rating, you're like, wow, that's so stupid. Like what a dumb thing to have close shot on a 6'4", which to be fair, you're still gonna be able to mash smaller guards with this. That's gonna be kind of devious if you think about it, but not to mention, take a look at the strength as well. 65 strength is what you need for that gold fearless. Not to mention, you need either 86 close shot or 87 driving lay. Well, guess what he has on the dot? 86 close shot, man, with enough strength to match as well. Not to mention, it's a good wingspan. It's once again a 6'4" that gets the small guard jump shots. I think, debatably, this is probably the best one. I just from like a fit perspective of the builder, it's so good at all different levels and departments. The only thing it doesn't really fit perfectly is the whole steel rating stuff, so it like doesn't match up very well with the steel badges. You'll get like silver glove, bronze glove, or like, you know, right stick ripper on silver or bronze as well, but so it doesn't really go super high. So mind you, you're more of like a stick the ball handler, like perimeter D defender oriented type build. So just keep that in mind. Again, it has pretty good layup though, so you'll be able to get a lot of these types of layup badges and stuff like that. The dunking is not great, but once again, you will still get dunk packages, like at least 1 or 2. So whether it's rim grazers or like in last year's game, you could get like the Klay Thompson dunk package with this, the Manu Ginobili, you could get CJ McCollum with it. They're all going to be able to get you some simple under the basket type like close range dunks. So whether you want to do that or you want to just lay the ball up, I mean, that's up to you. And to be fair, you can still modify this build too if you want, but I'm just showing you guys straight up the build for what it is. It's very good out the box, 100%. So moving along to number 3, we have Michael Porter Jr. right here. So with MPJ, it's not really a lot to do about his animations and badge threshold rating requirements he reaches and stuff like that, because honestly, it misses out on a lot of stuff between like the driving dunk being high enough and stuff like that, or, you know, to get like certain contact dunk packages, and also like his 3-pointers, one short of the gold limit, or the bronze limitless, I should say, my bad. And then, I mean, it's just some things are not in the right spots. Speed with ball doesn't exactly go high enough, but what I do want to talk about with his build is the fact that he's 6'10 with 76 speed and still has decent strength, so that will play a factor in the whole, you know, fearless finisher talk as well, because you are 6'10, a small guard killer. Like, you're going to be able to mash the mess out of a small guard if they get stuck guarding you by some, like, means. Obviously, you're a small forward, so it's not going to be super likely, but either way, it's a good matchup nightmare type thing. If a big guy's on you, he's not going to like the fact that you're going to stretch the floor really good with obviously 91 mid-range as well to create some shots and take advantage of his lack of speed and perimeter defensive ability maybe. Not to mention, again, just destroying people on the interior with 90 close shot and 88 driving lay. Still good dunk, still can standing dunk, and your 6'10 as well. Good speed, good strength, solid excel for the height. I mean, it's pretty good. And then 85 vert for 6'10 is insane too. And then not to mention 95 stamina as well. The ball handle, once again, 76 is pretty good. It's just the speed of ball is not quite as high as Marcus Smart's was, so you're going to miss out on a couple playmaking badges here and there. But 75 pass act, good threshold to hit. It's going to give you, like, you know, pass styles, at least like a couple of them. But for the most part, the drop off is pretty significant after 1 and 2, and then after MPJ it drops off pretty heavy as well. So that's why I started this video with the you know, the main people to talk about. If you guys made it to this point in the video and that's all you're interested in, I appreciate you watching, and if you could drop a like before you leave, I would appreciate that. Sub if you're new, all that good stuff, turn on them noties. Let's try this one to 1,000 likes, and if you made it to this point in the video, put Cat or MPJ in the comments so pretty much through. But anyway, or even Smart if you want to show love to him. But moving on to number 4, we have Anthony Edwards. So this is a really good like threshold rating requirement when it comes to the ball handle, speed with ball, speed, and excel. You get a lot of the important playmaking badges on silver. It's exactly what you need for all those silver type badges. As you can see, speed booster, you're going to need 81 ball handle and 75 speed of ball, and you either need 81 speed or 83 excel. As you can see, he has the 81 speed, he's got the speed with ball, he's got the ball handle. So he can get all of those things to get you the silver speed booster, easy, 100%. He'll be able to get some triple strikes, some unpluckable, because he also has that 85 ball handle, but 80 is the requirement for that. So gets the silver unpluckable. You're going to be able to get other things as well. The problem is he doesn't get physical handles because he only has 51 strength. If you want to modify the build, you absolutely can, because if you were able to add maybe even just a little bit of strength, like up to 63, you can get your physical handles up to silver. His ball handle can unlock all of it though, so if you want, you could modify that as well. But killer combos only gets on bronze, nothing super crazy or anything like that. Hyperdrive, I believe, only gets silver because you're looking at 80 speed and 75 speed of ball. So I don't believe he doesn't reach the gold requirements for the hyperdrive or anything like that. But silver handles for days. I mean, as you can see, he gets like silverish playmaking badges. It's pretty obvious that that's the case, right? So now let's come down to the finishing real quick though. So obviously he can still shoot, right? He's sitting at 83 pointer. It's a pretty decent level as far as like, you know, decent shooting badges. You're gonna have a lot of silvers and stuff like that essentially. Anyway, let's get into the finishing stuff real quick. So 90 dunk, 85 layup, 40 standing dunk, which actually according to last year's game gets you 1 standing dunk package, so you will still be able to perform standing dunks as well. Not to mention, we all know how the standing dunk stuff works. You get like a drive a little bit, it'll technically put you in a standing dunk, but it's based on your driving dunk animation. But anyway, 75 close shot. The post control probably doesn't matter very much, to be real with you, but the one unfortunate thing about Ant, and a lot of everybody pretty much, besides Marcus Smart for that matter, for some reason, is they don't really get fearless finisher at a great level. Like, again, Ant doesn't have enough strength to be able to get any fearless at all, but he will get things like Giant Slayer, Pro Touch, stuff like that, so don't worry about it too much. He also gets Gold Acrobat as well with the 84 layup. He has 85. You know, we got things like Float Game as well, Giant Slayer, again, he'll be able to get that on Hall of Fame as well because he has an 85 driving layup. It's exactly what you need for the Hoff Giant Slayer. So you will still be able to make a lot of layups, and not to mention, let's get into some finishing stuff right here. So you will only be able to get Silver Poster, and you will like be a little bit limited in your dunk animation sort of deal when it comes to the 90. You're gonna miss out on a couple contact dunk packs here and there, but you will get a couple small guard ones because you're 6'4". So let's talk about the whole small guard aspect of this again. You get some of the small guard SIGs, you get some of the small guard jump shot packages for like uppers, you know, bases, stuff like that. Not to mention you get the small guard contact dunks too. So being 6'4", very, very convenient for Ant right here. And again, to come back to finishing stuff, he has just enough dunk for precision dunker. 90 is going to be a pretty decent threshold to be hitting as well. You're going to be able to get things like Gold Aerial Wizard because you got the vertical to match as well. You know, good enough dunk for things like Gold Bunny. You will unfortunately be missing out on Gold Slithery by just a tad bit on both of these things. It'd be nice if like a combination of ratings could like lower the requirement because you're really close to it on both, but don't meet it on either. So that's unfortunate. But either way, like Spin Cycle on Hoff, you're going to have 2-step on Hoff as well. Bulldozer won't be having anything like that. But to talk about the whistle real quick, so let's take a look at him. So it's looking like it's going to be in the silver threshold because it's about the same level of like driving lay, close shot, and driving dunk that you're looking at. So you're probably looking at the silver whistle. And then post badges, I guess he has like post control for enough on some bronzes. Like for instance, it's bronze back down Punisher. Let's see, you can't get a drop stepper, you can't get dream shake, so you're pretty much just looking at the back down Punisher and post spin technician. So yeah. And then I guess he could get a hook specialist on bronze as well, but not a big deal. Anyway, that's about it as far as his conversation. So now let's come back to the chart and talk about our number 5 build. We have Trae Young right here. So the issue with Trae Young is he has the ball handle for Hoff speed booster, but he doesn't have the speed with ball, speed, and excel requirements that you need for that. Not to mention the one other big kicker for him is the fact that MJ dribble style will probably be somewhere around 89 to 90. That's what we're hearing so far. So it is very likely that you miss out on a very important dribble style with this build, and being 6'1" with that, with very little perimeter defense and just defense in general, is going to be tough. However, it does reach the threshold of 85 three-pointer that we're missing from a lot of builds in this, like, you know, replica build. What I'm finding is most hard to make in this year's game with the replicas is going to be Trae Young, like type builds where it's, you know, you're looking for outside builds that have high three-pointer and can still dribble, and then also lockdown builds too. Like Marcus Smart is the only good lock you could even imagine to find in this, personally. But aside from that, he's got the 85 three-pointer for the bronze limitless. You know, you're gonna have stuff like that. He's also gonna be able to get obviously Hoff Giant Slayer with 91 driving layups, so that will be tough for sure, especially being 6'1" too. You're gonna make a lot of crazy layups with that. Obviously, close shot applying to that as well. He doesn't have the strength for Fearless, though, so just keep that in mind. But yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, this is why I didn't start the video with number 5, because number 5 is still pretty trash. So just know the top 3 are very good. The top 2 are on God tier, and you would definitely argue that like Marcus Smart and Karl-Anthony Towns have the best ones for sure. So anyway, that is all for the video. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, feel free to drop a like, sub, if you're new to notice, all that good stuff. Like always, try to 1,000 likes, and if you made it to the end of the video, put replica in the comment search supports me all the way through. But yeah, to scroll through some of these, I mean, as you can see, Cade not looking good. You know, you got Luka. Yeah, sure, he's like a tall, physical kind of like, you know, heavy guy, but like you're gonna be missing out on a lot of thresholds with stuff like this. Scoot not looking great. Drew, biggest catfish with the strength. Kyrie, once again, doesn't have the strength for Fearless, but he's got a really high layup and, you know, not really oriented around that. Russell Westbrook, another kind of catfish. He doesn't have enough of the speed and speed with ball and ball handle stuff for, you know, a speed booster on a ridiculous level or anything like that. Jaylen Brown and Paul George and stuff like that were also some wings I was considering over Ant, but the problem is that obviously being 6'4" makes it really nice for the animations, and same with, like, for instance, Tyler Hero and Zach LaVine. Like, you're in that same kind of area, but the ratings just didn't meet the certain thresholds that you would have wanted and stuff like that. Reeves had a really good three-pointer with 85, but he didn't have great, like, ball handle and stuff like that. Clay has 92 three-pointer, but is very lacking in the physicals and, like, you know, anything else but shooting pretty much. Jimmy Butler looking okay. Paul George was a very, like, you know, considerable option here. I'll come back to him for a second. So with PG, he has 85 ball handle, 75 speed of ball, 76 pass act as well. It's kind of the same thing as Ant, but like, again, I don't know. It just depends what you're looking for, because obviously Ant a little bit faster, but not much. So as far as the height to speed ratio, Paul George is a little bit better in that aspect. Ant is going to get some better animations, though, better rating, like, you know, thresholds and stuff like that, too. I don't even think PG can get pro contacts either, because I think it's up now to like 89-ish or something like that. He does still get a standing dunk package, so that is pretty nice. But yeah, I mean, not really like anything special in the shooting. The playmaking, like the shooting and playmaking is all the same between Ant and Paul George. It's just what do you want more, Prim D or like dunk ability, pretty much. Moving along though, Brandon Ingram, not great. I mean, it was okay, but yeah. MPJ, solid, like really tall, really good shooting, stuff like that. Tatum, solid. Bridges, once again, like, you know, the locks were so hard to even consider making, because like you're looking at with the locks, no strength at a really good level, and the Prim D is very specific with where you need it to be to get certain badges. So I'm just not a fan of, you know, a build like this personally. Banchero, obviously finishing loaded and he can still shoot. Same with Aaron Gordon, 95 dunk, 83 pointer. It's just, you know, unfortunately he's a power forward that's pretty undersized and doesn't meet a lot of like ratings that we would want and stuff like that. Cam Johnson, really good mid-range and close shot. Lauri Markkanen, again, I told you he would be a sleeper for sure. Mobley, you know, again, we mentioned him in the intro. Pretty solid back-end mobile defender. Siakam, pretty mid. Towns, God mode. I mean, it's one of the best builds in the game as far as that. And then, you know, loops back to Banchero. So, finishing off with the centers, you know, you got Ayton, good close shot, good standing dunk. He's a pretty good physical kind of guy. Again, Drummond, pure inside, looking pretty solid in that aspect as well, but nothing super crazy. And then Jokic as well for the last center. Or we got Sabonis too, who, unfortunately, Sabonis, I mean, look at this, 7'1" wingspan, 7'1" height. Like, dude, oh, God. 50 speed. I mean, oof. It's just tough. And then, not to mention, even with it, now I vouch for Towns' lack of defense because he has good physicals and, like, you know, good height to speed ratio. This is tough, man. 50 speed at 7'1" with no defense. I mean, you could be an offensive monster with this for sure, right? With the close shot being so high and the post control, the 90 mid range as well, good pass act, you know, stuff like that. He probably doesn't get the physicals to get big driver or anything like that, but either way. Then we got Miles Turner, good type of defensive guy, but again, the physicals, once again, not very good. Like 52 speed at 6'11", that's just not acceptable. So anyway, that is all for video. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, for drop a like, sub if you're new to all noties, all that good stuff, and like always, try to 1,000 likes. Made it all the way to the end of the video, put 5 in the comments, search your way through for the top 5. But anyway, that's all. I appreciate you guys watching. Stay tuned for other videos. If you want to check anything out, feel free to. Other than that, take it easy, man. Peace.